This is Bonnie Calcagno, the person who has been a government gang stalking target since 2006, that horrific mobbing, unremitting harassment, and as of March 2024, using Havana Syndrome type neuroweapons on me, I believe. That's how I believe that I got my tinnitus after having the same symptoms as people who were attacked with the Havana Syndrome, who got the Havana Syndrome, and what they talked about in terms of symptoms was pressure in the back of their head, and they also developed tinnitus. And in March 2025, when there was an increase in the harassment in my neighborhood, and I have houses on both sides of me which are empty, became empty, then that's when I developed my tinnitus, with the same kind of headaches and the pressure in the back of my head. Recently, the reason I got this tri-field EMF meter, and I've been looking at finding out that I had to move my computer away from my modem because the RF readings were so high by my modem, even though it's hardwired. I don't use Wi-Fi. The reason that I did that was because I developed tingling in my legs. Now, tingling in the legs as well as pressure, for instance, in the back of your head, are all kind of signs, especially when it's followed by tinnitus, which the Havana Syndrome targets had. So this is all kind of like possibility of neuro weapons. I have houses on both sides of me empty, which is curious because, like a lot of these devices that they use in warfare today, some of them are as big as a suitcase, and they can be used in close proximity. All right, now what I'm showing you today, I got the tri-field thing. I noticed that when I put, and I want to go point to the average reading on the EMF meter, and I want to put this next to the head of my chair. So let's just put this next to the head of my chair, and let's take a look at the readings. Okay, I'm going to scan it across where my head would go on my chair. Okay, there it is. 13, pretty high. Let's keep looking. Let's just I'm scanning the headrest on my chair. All right, let's scan that headrest. Put the meter, make sure I'm putting the meter. I don't want the camera, I want the meter there. All right, 7's pretty high. 10 is pretty high. 1 is what it's supposed to be. 12 is pretty high. I'm just scanning the headrest, putting the EMF meter against the headrest of my chair. 11 is high. 7. 8. Just scanning the headrest on my chair with the EMF. 7. 8. 7. Headrest on my chair. 6. 9. 6. 18. That's pretty high. 13. 16. Headrest on my chair. Okay, just putting the EMF reader. That's high. 16. Now this is in the back of my chair, 14. All right, now why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because, like, I was reading, listening on the internet today. I was researching, like, EMF readings, EMF, and it said that materials can absorb RF radiation. In other words, let's say when I'm sitting in this chair, for some strange reason, gang stalking a target for 20 years, the EMF readings are really high, that the RF radiation can be absorbed into material. Now, this isn't a massage chair or anything like that. It's just a regular chair. It's what I would always sit on when I would be at my computer. Of course, I have moved my laptop away from, what do you call that thing? There it is. I never can think of the name of it. Okay, here we go. 18, this is my chair. And this is, it's set at RF radiation. Let me see if I can point out. Get the, there, it's set at RF, so I'm getting the RF radiation on my chair. All right, it was up to 19. Okay, so this is the chair that I used to use on my computer, but then when I started to see that the RF readings on the chair are so high, I started to use this little chair here. Now let's look at the RF readings on this chair. They're not going up to 15, 18 as they were on the other chair. I'm going to do the back of this chair. Let's do the back of it. This is the chair I'm currently using. Now it's 11, but I do want to point out now. Let's go over here to my printer. All right, let's check out my printer. My printer's off. I don't know. Let's look at the printer. Okay, let's scan the printer. All right, printer's not bad. Let's check this little chair here. Okay, this is what I'm using now. Okay. Oh, now why is it 15 there? Why did that come up? Oh, it's metal. Well, it's plastic, actually. All right, let's do this chair. Okay, I'm going down the back of this chair. Now I'm going to go over here to my big chair that I was using. All right, let's go to this chair. Now I'm doing the front of it before I was doing the back of it. All right, let's do the front. There's an 8, that's high. Doing the front of this, oh, there's a 7, that's high. Going toward the top of the chair. Okay. Top of the chair. All right, now let's go to the back of the chair. I'm going to turn, this is the chair that I was wondering about the amount of radiation. Did it absorb some of the RF radiation when it was close to my modem? All right, let's focus this on the EMF reader. But I am at the back of the big chair, and I'm doing the readings in the back of the big chair. These are RF radiation. Now, you saw that it was like 15, 18. Now it's really low. Now, you have to realize that I am under total surveillance. That means inside my house I am surveilled. So by now they figured out that I'm using my camera. All right, you saw the high readings, right? Now there's no high readings. I've been using my camera for a while. I am surveilled inside my house, so they know what I'm doing. They know when I'm approaching the door, and that's when they do same time exit entry gang stalking. They get your neighbors to gang stalk. They get people in the neighborhood to gang stalk. All right, so why is it now that I'm not getting any of those high readings, and before I did, like I said, I'm under total surveillance. They surveil you inside your house. Now, would government gang stalkers want you to know how high the let me see if I can get the camera focused on, there we go. Would they want you to know how high the RF readings are inside your house? Would they want you to know that? How high the readings are inside your house? Now, you are not under total surveillance as a gang stalking target is. You don't have tinnitus. You didn't have the pressure in back of your head like the Havana syndrome targets. And then you didn't have the headaches, and then you didn't have the tinnitus, as I do, like the Havana syndrome targets. Right now, I do not have tingling in my legs, but I've been using this desk, no modem. And I've put my modem across the room. All right? So this is Bonnie Calcagno. I'm going to sign off. You saw when I first started taking the readings for my big chair that sometimes they would go to 15, 18. You saw that now they don't. You know that Bonnie Calcagno has been under total surveillance. They surveil me inside my home. Now, what are they using? What kind of technology? Is it something in the empty houses on either side of me? What kind of technology are they using? Does the technology that they're using to track my movements 24 hours a day emit some kind of radiation? How do they do it? I don't know. I live next to Camp Pendleton, and I've asked if the military is involved in government gang stalking. Are they testing neural weapons on government gang stalking whistleblowers? We need, first of all, to stop government gang stalking. I think 20 years is enough. I think it's time to stop this program. And I think Kash Patel, I don't care, Kash, if you say that police do it, that firemen do it, that ambulance drivers do it. I don't care about that. Just stop it. Just stop it. Or, Kash, can't you stop it?